Hi everyone, Namaste. This is a sentence from Rigveda. Anubhadra Prapoyanti Vishwato. Let noble thoughts come to us from every side of the universe. We are all aware of the fact that nobody becomes either Obama or Osama by birth. It is the surrounding circumstances that individuals and individual path that ultimately forms his personality. Individual personality is influenced initially by the parents, the teachers, the friends and relatives, and the educational institutions, the society, which also includes the media, movies. All these will have impact on the final personality of an individual. Most of the times, mental health, the word itself gets confused with mental illness. So many people think that mental health, when you utter the word mental health, means it's about mental illness, but both are different. Mental health is a state of well-being in which an individual realizes one's own potential, can cope with the normal stress of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to the community. This is the mental health as defined by World Health Organization. Inability to realize his potential, inability to cope with the normal stress of life, and inability to work productively and fruitfully, and inability to contribute to the community, all these constitute mental illness. Why I am discussing about this mental illness? So mental illness, the ultimate, it may end in disorders like anxiety, depression, with the most or worst end as a suicide. If you know the hidden facts and figures, you will get surprised. Almost close to 7 lakh people die by suicide every year. It comes around every 40 seconds someone dies by suicide. About 7 lakh people are dying because of suicides every year worldwide, and it comes around for every 40 seconds one person is dying because of suicide. Committing suicide is different from dying because of suicide. Not all suicides that are committed end in death. A rough estimate states that for every one suicidal death, there will be almost 25 people who have committed suicide attempts. That is, for example, 10 suicidal deaths are reported. It means 250 might have committed suicide, of whom 10 has ended with death. So that's how it comes around per year worldwide. About 20 million people are committing suicides. 20 million is nothing but 2 crore individuals worldwide are committing suicides. For every one suicidal death, about 135 people are affected, either it could be the parents, the friends, relatives, children, or whoever it is. Altogether, one suicidal death, one person death is going to impact on average 135 individual. Then it comes to 108 million people every year will be affected psychologically or financially, whatever way, by suicidal deaths. The most worrisome thing is the suicide is becoming more and more common in youngsters, especially of age 15 to 29. It is one of the leading causes of death. It's the fourth leading cause of death among this age group. In India itself, if you see, from 2007 to 2016, in a span of 10 years, more than 75,000 suicidal deaths were reported. Even though it seems like 75,000 suicidal deaths, the actual figures may be different because of the stigma in the society. Most of these deaths might not be documented as suicidal deaths. So whatever it is, even though whatever the documented figures also very high, that's about 75,000. It comes, if you calculate in another way, almost one student commits suicide every hour. One student commits suicide every hour. And of this, that means almost 24 students per day. Of these, one third, about 7 to 8 students are just committing suicides just because of failure examinations. So that how the mental stability of our youngsters. The number of suicidal deaths that were reported in 2016 were 9,474. That means if you calculate for one every suicidal death, there will be 25 people who have committed suicides. Then it comes around 2 lakh people committed suicides in the year 2016. So why should we discuss about suicides? Because a person is committing suicide, we can't do anything. He is committing suicides. What can we do? When we can't do anything, why are we discussing? We are discussing because suicide is not uncommon. And we always think that a person committed suicide means he is emotionally or mentally is a weak person or is a coward. But the fact is, there is no difference between him and us. The only difference between him and us, we have people who cared enough to make us alive. That is the only difference. They are no way inferior to us. And it is not a wish to die actually, it is a cry for help. And majority of the suicides have been preceded by warning signs. So if we can pick them up, we can save them. And most suicidal people don't want to die. They want to die because they think by committing suicide, the psychological pain and suffering will get end. But if at that crucial point, if any emotional support comes with them, definitely the suicide can be prevented. So that access to the emotional time at the right time can prevent suicides. And some people think that talking about suicide will lead to an encourage suicide is a myth. The actual thing is once we are discussing about suicide means whatever the stigma that is there in the society, we will come out of it. And once we come out of the stigma, any individual he can express his emotions and he can seek the help at right time and he can rethink their opinions and share their story with others. That's why we all need to talk more about suicides. So the youngest patient whom I encountered in my clinical practice is 13 years. Is a 13 years individual committing suicides. What does he know? What does he know? And how he knows the term suicide or how he gets an idea of ending his life. And also not only ending his life, he also knows different modes of committing suicide. At the age of 13, what life he has seen. And what does it mean for him the ending of life? And how all this get he's known all these facts. Definitely they won't be discussed at homes. He is definitely getting all about this information through the media. It could be the newspaper or TV or whatever it may be. In 2019 itself, in Telangana, about 20 to 30 students died by committing suicides when the intermediate results were announced with some errors. It is the figures of the dead students only. Nobody knows the actual number of people who committed suicide. Just as nobody by birth knows all these things, it should be from the surrounding community, especially from the media or movies, he will come aware of. So, the present idea of this presentation is we want to pour positive thoughts into the community. So from whichever community an individual is getting an idea of this ending of his life and different methods, into the same community we want to push the positive thoughts, the conducting, the contest of designing posters of motivating and inspiring messages, engaging entire families as participants. So that is, design a poster, a smart family contest. The poster with motivating and inspiring messages. For further details, either visit our website or following video. Thank you.